that we can just give a little bit more time for everyone to come in. I'm really excited to have you guys today who's with us about Fast ForWord. Great. Has anybody ever heard of Fast ForWord? I can only see Karina and Darcy. So I know, Darcy, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research on this, so I've been kind of playing around with it. But I'm excited to learn a little bit more.
Cool.
We will try our best for you, Darcy.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Right. I think we'll just leave it one more minute and then we'll get started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right, got a couple more people coming in. They're joining.
Great. Just a few more minutes, guys, and then we'll have everybody in and then we'll make a start. Okay.
Joining 14. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started then.
Okay.
We can just let them in.
So we'll go ahead and get started, and if anybody is joining a little later, that's absolutely fine. We'll
yes, we are recording this, so we people can see it later.
Yeah, we can share it. We can share it at a later point. So if anybody misses if anyone's missed the start, it's no problem. We can always share it, and we can add it to the website.
For sure, definitely. So I'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Rana, and I'm here with my colleague Allison, and we are the owners of Sensory Souk. And we are very, very pleased to welcome you all here today to our very first webinar about Fast ForWord.
Yes, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to have you all here. So basically the reason that we are presenting on Fast ForWord this evening is after my son's own personal success and gains with Fast ForWord. So we've actually used this as a program for a good few years actually. And I was talking to Rana about it probably about 12 months ago, and we were really talking about how fantastic it was as a resource. And at that point we really decided that it was too good not to introduce to our community in Qatar. So we have a little video for you all about Fast ForWord, which it probably explains it a lot better than Rana and I can. So we'll, without further ado, we'll share that with you and take a look, and then we'll come back to you in just a minute.
All right, I'm going to share our screen. Here we go. Can everybody see that video? Okay, let's go back.
2 out of every 3 students struggle with reading and language proficiency. Helping these students improve is difficult. Making it last is even harder. That's why our team of neuroscientists and educators created Fast ForWord. Fast ForWord is an evidence-based, personalized, and adaptive reading and language program that produces 1 to 2 years gains in just 40 to 60 hours of use for any struggling learner, while providing ongoing assessment and detailed reporting to track student progress. Fast ForWord targets the root causes of reading and language difficulty within the brain to make better readers and lifelong learners. In short, we retrain the brain. This makes it a cost-effective solution for any school looking for long-term success. After more than 20 years of research and more than 300 scientific studies, the evidence shows that the science behind our method works. Over 3 million students in 55 countries, including thousands of US schools, have embraced our program. Fast ForWord helps any student become a better reader and a better learner for life. To learn more, contact your dedicated Fast ForWord expert today.
All right, so that dedicated Fast ForWord person would be us. So I am very interested in the Fast ForWord program, and to be honest with you, I don't really know too much about it. And so Allison and I were talking about the best way to kind of get information and share that with everybody, and we decided that we'd love to do a kind of a quick fire question and answer session. So what we would like to do is, I'm just going to talk to Allison and ask her a couple questions and she can share her answers with everyone. So I guess the first question is, no,
what I was going to say was, we'll absolutely have a question and answer session at the end of this as well. So if you've got any questions of your own, hopefully we'll have time. If we don't get to everybody's questions, then we'll certainly get back to you. But hopefully we'll have time for everybody's questions. But hopefully some of the questions that Rana will be asking me this evening will resonate with you, and hopefully they'll answer some of the questions that you have as well as we go along. But feel free to ask at any time.
And what we'd like you to do is just, if you get a question, we'd love to hear from you, just go ahead and put it in the chat, and then we'll be able to go scroll through those. And like Allison said, if we don't get to you this evening, we'll definitely get back to you by the end of the week. Okay, so first question that comes to my mind and everybody's mind probably is, why did you choose Fast ForWord?
Okay, so my husband and I were looking for something additional for Noah because my son Noah. So I think at the time,
how old is he now?
Yeah, he's 10 now.
Okay.
But at the time when we started looking for something, so we really, because he was having a lot of therapy, he was having speech therapy and occupational therapy and also ABA therapy. But we noticed that he wasn't really retaining a huge amount of information, and his working memory, I think, probably wasn't working as well as it could, and also his listening skills could be, there was room for improvement. So we were just doing a lot of research as to what we could do to perhaps help with that, and my husband stumbled across Fast ForWord. So at the time, it was actually quite difficult to find information about Fast ForWord, but we'd looked at all of the research for quite a long time, for a good 6 months, and we thought it looked like the most fantastic program and perfect for what Noah needed, because we really felt that he needed to be, to help with his attention, to help with his listening, his direction skills, so we thought it would be worth a try. So at the time we were living here in Qatar, and we found we're British, so we were going to go home for the summer. So we thought, right, okay, it's a great time to find a consultant. And to cut a very long story short, we had an assessment for Noah. It's an online assessment. It's very quick and very simple. There's no stress to it at all. And I think when he was about 5.5, and he wasn't quite ready, they came back to us and said, yeah, no, he's not quite ready for Fast ForWord. And I think we tried again about 6 months later, and again, he wasn't quite ready for it. And then at the age of, I think, 6.5, then they confirmed that he was ready to start with the program, which was very exciting.
That's really cool. Now, what does it mean to be ready?
Okay, so basically the assessment is an online assessment. There's nothing to prepare, nothing stressful. It's very relaxed for the child. The child doesn't even know that they're having an assessment, if you like.
That's good.
The good thing about the Fast ForWord programs, because there are two programs, there's the Fast ForWord program, and then there is the Fast ForWord Reading Assistant Plus. So there are two programs, and the assessment will actually decide on which program your child should start with and whether or not they're ready for the program. So it's a big investment in time. So the reassuring thing for us was the fact that Fast ForWord didn't just want to start us on the program. They actually were, they wanted it to be the right time for Noah. So I was kind of assured about the fact that eventually he would get to the point whereby it was a suitable program for him. Yeah.
All right, because I think that's really important, is that he's got to be ready,
sure,
in order to
do his best. Yeah, exactly, to do his best and also get the best out of the program. That's the most important.
So you started when he was 6.5, and so how much time a week? Like, how much time did you invest? What was your schedule like?
Okay, so the routine is, I wouldn't say it's rigorous, but it's like any therapy or any of these programs. I think if you were investing in them, it's very important to work at the recommended schedule. Okay. So Fast ForWord, both programs recommend 5 days a week, and they also recommend, it's usually the session takes about 30 minutes. So that's kind of 30 minutes of quiet time I would suggest to begin with that a parent or a caregiver is with them just to supervise and oversee, not to necessarily help them and assist them, but just to be around, you know, just to make sure things are going
so
okay.
they get used to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's around 30 to 35 minutes, 5 times a week. And it's pretty important that you try as much as possible to stick to that schedule. Obviously, that's not going to happen every week because, you know, life happens. But yeah, it really does need to be worked into a daily schedule to make sure that that happens.
That's amazing. And with you working at 5 days a week, about 30 minutes a day, when did you see gains? When did you see changes in Noah? I
think we started seeing changes probably after about the first month. So it was quite an enjoyable experience for him. He actually quite enjoyed the program.
So is it like a game?
Yeah, so Noah actually started with Fast ForWord. So not the Reading Assistant Plus, but he actually started with Fast ForWord, which is more of a listening program. So it's kind of teaching kids how to listen and it prompts you with kind of directions, and you have to kind of follow their lead. It's little cartoony games. It's sorry, I've gone out of the shop there. So I've disappeared into the ether. So yeah, it's a fun program, and it's all loaded onto a device like a tablet or a laptop. So it's super fun for them to follow. And I think we started seeing gains probably after the first month. So we started to see that he was more attentive, he was actively listening, and he just became better and better at following the directions on the program, which made us realize that he was really improving his
working.
Yeah, improving his listening skills. Yeah, we were very happy with it.
And did you see any gain? I know you said that you saw gains with him and how he was reacting to the program, but what about in school? What did you notice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it really kind of helped with his diligence. It really helped with his concentration. And also, I think most importantly, it really helped with his working memory. You know, we didn't really tell anybody at school that he was doing this program, because it's almost like you know, if we tell them, then it's like, oh yeah, it's working. But we really wanted that kind of placebo effect, if you like. So yeah, it definitely helped with his listening skills, but working memory, I think, mostly. And really helping him to retain information and answers to questions.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how verbal was Noah when he started the program? Did you see any gains?
I think with the listening program, you know, Noah was still kind of on his kind of speech journey. So he was verbal, but the program doesn't really require any kind of verbalization for the listening program, so it wasn't really so you know, so important for him. Just trying to think whether or not we did see any verbal gain. I mean, to be honest with you, it's quite difficult to measure that, just for the fact that, you know, Noah was having quite intensive speech therapy at the time, so I wouldn't like to necessarily say that it improves spoken language. I think with the reading program, yes, it would certainly improve with the fluency. I think it would probably, with the listening program that we started with, I think it would definitely improve comprehension, auditory comprehension, for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a really big step.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And when you're working with the Fast ForWord program, are you the one who's administering things, or was there a representative from the company? Are there, in the beginning you said that it was, and in the video it says that it's evidence-based. So tell me, are there reports that they give you each week? Like, how does it work?
Sure. Okay, so basically, once you've decided to sign up for the program, your child would have an assessment. And then if your child is ready to start one of the Fast ForWord programs, then you would be introduced to your Fast ForWord consultant, if you like. So they would just take you through how to load the programs onto your device and how everything kind of works, and answer any questions that you have. And then at the end of each week, so at the end of every 5 days, then there's a lot of reporting that comes to you directly. So it basically tells you the gains that your child has made, and also perhaps the challenges that they've had, because the system automatically adjusts. It's the algorithms there actually automatically adjust, and it's very sensitive to perhaps what your child is being challenged, has most challenges with understanding, and also it celebrates the gains that your child makes and sees their strengths as well. So it's had some really, really great evidence-based research around it. So there's a lot of Ivy League research that's happened, and there are, I think most of the school districts in the United States use it now, not only for English language learners, but also for children that may need some additional help with language or listening or attention. So it's got great reviews. There's great evidence behind it. And it's just a really, that's basically how it works. And then from there, we would receive reports every week. Our consultant was showing us how you could read the reports, but also they would make some comments about how Noah was doing in certain areas, which was great. And then we were free to consult with them, ask them questions if we had any, and they were just basically a support line for us. So if we had any technical support issues or whatever, that's how it would work. Yeah.
You keep disappearing.
So I'm going out again. Sorry.
Okay, great. So we wanted to tell you all about there are 2 tracks, right?
Yeah.
And you were mentioned that Noah started with
exactly. So it's because it's kind of quite abstract to talk about. What we wanted to do was actually show you the differences between the 2 programs. So we will just bring up this graphic now, which will just show you a little bit more about the 2 different programs. So I was talking about Fast ForWord, and then there is Fast ForWord Reading Assistant. So these 2 programs are quite different in their approach. They can both help the same children, but in different ways. So as I say, the assessment that your child would start with would really determine where they would start, whether or not they would start with Fast ForWord or with Reading Assistant. My son really struggles with, well, he has auditory processing disorder, so he has APD, and he does have, very severe language disorder. So it made sense for us to start, and it made sense that the assessment determined that he was going to start with Fast ForWord and the listening program. Okay, so as you can see from the screen here, it really does focus on kids with APD, with dyslexia, with ADHD, and also with any kind of learning disability, or whether or not you just feel that they need some help with reading, just with just listening and attention, and just being able to sit still and just really to be able to focus on what is being said. So it's a really great program, as I say, and it's a kind of 3-in-1 intervention approach, which is delivered in a really fun and relaxed way. So it doesn't really feel like you're in a therapy room as such.
It looks like it looks like they're playing a video game.
Yeah,
and they probably think you said Noah had a really good time doing it.
He really enjoyed it, and also a lot of the games that they play are all kind of point based as well. So there's a real challenge for the child to get as many points as they can, and to score as many goals as they can, and it's a very visual game as well, so they can really see what strides and what progress they're making. They can celebrate their gains too. And then the other one here is a reading assistant. So this one is it really helps kids that maybe just haven't quite got the grasp of reading yet. Maybe they're just not really particularly interested in reading. Maybe they just need a bit of a push and a bit of a boost. It can really help any student. They don't necessarily need to be a SEND student. In China and other parts of the world, this program is used massively for English language learners. They just have hundreds of people in rooms just running this program because it's one of the most effective ways of learning English. So it can really help every area of reading and comprehension. So basically how it works is that the program will select which kind of level of reading that you should start on, and then it will present you with a book. And the great thing is the fact that you've got specialist headphones, which we supply, with a headset. So not only are they reading aloud, but they're actually then they listen back to how they've read, so they can hear themselves, which is really important. And not many children or adults really hear themselves reading back, so they can really listen again. And then there are some multiple choice questions at the end, just to really run through the comprehension, make sure that they've understood. Yeah. And then from there, the program, again, is very intuitive with the algorithms and so on and so forth. So it really kind of determines whether or not they should move forward, whether or not they need a little bit of extra help, maybe take a step backwards and maybe really kind of cement that foundation before they move forward. Or really to stay on that level, really to just boost their confidence. And I think a lot of this is to do with confidence with children and interest in reading. And if they can see themselves, in a positive, reading positively and really making gains and feeling good about reading, then it's a winner. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right, wonderful. We have a couple of questions. We've stopped sharing. Should we take a couple questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll take a few questions as we go along.
So it says here, from what age group is this program suitable? My son is 14 and has issues with comprehension, though his reading skill is above average. And that
sounds like my son.
Yes, and that's interesting because it's called, in our research, we found that it's called hyperlexia. And that is when children have the amazing skill of reading, but they don't really understand what they're reading. Yeah. And so this Fast ForWord program is absolutely something that can help them build their comprehension and their listening skills.
Absolutely. So to be honest with you, there is no kind of age limit. I would say that you probably start Fast ForWord around the age, you could start it at the age of probably around 4 or 5. Just to see where you are. But I mean, to be honest with you, there's no real limit on the age. My son is exactly the same. He has an age appropriate reading level, but he doesn't really understand so much about what he's learning. So I think in that instance that there's no problem there with starting whatever age, but they would start at a level and they would try to introduce books that were interesting to them, because that's the tricky thing, isn't it? It's trying to introduce books that are potentially interesting for them, but are also at their comprehension level. So that's a bit of a balance. But yeah, absolutely no age limit at all. Anybody is certainly welcome to join.
Yes. We have another question about recording the meeting. So we are recording the meeting and we will be sharing it on Facebook and Instagram soon. So
yeah, sure. If you've missed the start of this, no problem at all. We'll be happy to share.
Okay, this is a good question. So it says, do you use Fast ForWord just yourself or in conjunction with the school he attends?
So I actually use Fast ForWord myself at home. Interesting that you should say that, Darcy, because we have been in talks with some schools regarding this, but this would be programs that they would run within their school. So, fundamentally, this is actually a school's program, and it's used for a variety of different reasons with a lot of evidence base behind it. So, kids make really, really huge strides with this. So that is why it's got such a great such great evidence behind it. This is why a lot of the US school communities use it. But for us, because it wasn't available here at the time, we just decided to use it privately. But it's certainly something that a school community could use. and it's certainly designed for that purpose for sure.
And I think that's one of the things that really resonated with us, and I know Allison said it resonated with her too, is that it's scientifically backed. There is research behind it, and I know that when we're dealing with children and their therapy, and it's nice to be, and a lot of it is just trial and error, a lot of times, and it's like, well, will it work for them or will it not work for them? This you can actually measure. There's a measure here, and there's a starting point, and you can track the gains, and you can see how the progress is going. So that's something that we really liked as well. So
Absolutely. To
give a little something concrete to
absolutely. and I think that's important to say that we're as the owners and the founders of Sensory Souk, but also for me who has a child with autism, and obviously for Rana's son as well, we really are all about evidence-based programs and anything. Exactly, all of that really does need to have some weight and some evidence behind it. So
we have one more. We have a question. It's, how is the child assessed and how often?
Okay. So the child is assessed using the online assessment that is programmed by Fast ForWord. So what we would do is we would book an appointment with you if you wanted to come and get assessed, and you would come into the store where we have a kind of dedicated area for Fast ForWord.
And just to keep in mind, sorry to interrupt you, that we're following Ministry of Public Health standards. We sanitize everything. We're keeping the strictest protocols in place, social distancing and whatnot. So when you do come into the store, you will be taken care of, and you can rest assured that everything has been sanitized to the best possible standards.
Yeah. Okay. So then you would come in, and then we would just introduce you to the programs, just talk to you a little bit more about it, and then we'd have your child do a quick assessment. Doesn't take a huge amount of time. As I say, it's very relaxed. There's nothing to prepare for. It's not a biggie, and then the computer would actually decide and recommend a program to start with. And I think the child really is assessed every week, to be honest with you, with the reporting that is issued. So the reports get sent, and then we would review them, and then, as I say, we would give you some training. It's super simple. The reporting is very, very simple. And then you can really see where the child is making gains, perhaps where they're slightly challenged. And then, as I say, the program really works towards really helping to support them through those challenges. And then you can really see the gains that are made right the way through the program.
Definitely.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, so please feel free to type any questions that you have in the chat. We'd love to answer them for you. Now, we would like to introduce Matt to everyone. So Matt, give me 1 second. Matt, could you introduce yourself for a second? You can unmute yourself. Where's Matt?
Matt's actually in the Sensory Souk store. Yes. It's a bit dark at the back of the store there.
So everyone, this is Matt. He is our Fast ForWord representative. He's our consultant, and he, if you choose to use Fast ForWord for your child, he would be working with him.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. So if you choose to sign up for more information, or you'd like to book an appointment to get an assessment for your child, Matt would be the guy that would walk you through everything. He's got a lot of experience with Fast ForWord now. He's had some great training, and he is ready and happy to meet you all. So say hi, Matt.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
All right.
Okay,
excellent. Thanks, Matt. Thank you. So we can open the floor now, I guess, to any other questions. This is we've presented the information, I think, in the way that from Allison's experience, which is great. I mean, it's a wonderful experience, and it's very, very interesting, and we're really excited to bring it to Qatar. So you're welcome to
ask any questions.
Ask any more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's probably one question that we haven't answered.
Oh, here we go. We've got one more. Does your school have access to the assessments and records? I don't think so. I mean, if you wanted to provide it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, Darcy, I was just kind of thinking about the angle that you wanted to come from. If you want to provide that information, then absolutely. So if you wanted to share that with them, if you thought that it was useful, then absolutely we can provide that information for you to share. But no, it's your information, so it's up to you where you'd like to, who to share that with.
And if you have any, Darcy, if you have any more questions, you're welcome to unmute yourself just to make sure that we answer your question correctly. Okay.
And then another question, does the program teach social skills or only literacy and comprehension? It's really more to do with literacy, comprehension, and also listening skills. So I suppose, Karina, social skills, it can encourage, I mean, it doesn't encourage, I mean, it teaches listening skills and also processing skills.
So that would help with social skills.
So that
for
would
sure.
that would inadvertently help with the social skills for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Did we get it? Did we answer your question?
So, okay, if we don't answer your question or you need to ask more, then please just unmute yourselves and just ask. So you're very welcome.
And we've got one more from Nora. So she was saying, I think she missed the beginning part. From what ages is suitable?
Yeah.
So
Hi, Nora. There is no age limit. I would suggest probably that the child probably needs to be 4 to 5, even to begin with the listening program. But there is no age limit on, on older kids. So
their skills.
Yeah,
their skills.
Exactly.
Well, what is it that they need? They need to learn.
I think a lot of it is more kind of fine motor skills to be able to use the tablet or the device, and also to have a level of comprehension before they start, because they need to listen to the instructions and they need to take instructions from the program. So I wouldn't probably advise that you have an assessment before the age of 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
what I would. That's what I would recommend. Yeah.
All right. And we have a.
Okay, how much the program cost? We have all of that information here for you to look at. There's one point that I haven't actually covered, which I think is probably quite useful for everybody, and nobody's asked it yet, so I'll cover it, which is how long do you need to do Fast Forward for? So to begin with, we signed up for, I think it was five months. So we saw huge gains in those 5 months. However, the program does keep adjusting itself until the child makes those gains. So with Fast Forward, with the listening program, then there are 2 sections to that. So there's Fast Forward 1 and Fast Forward 2. So you get to the kind of end of the first one, and then you can choose to go on to the second part of the listening program. So it really just does depend on how your child is getting on. So it depends on your commitment to the program. So it depends if you are committed to the program and you're committed to doing it 5 times a week and 30 minutes a day, then obviously your child is going to get through the program faster. Because practice obviously improves their skills. And it really just does depend on their challenges. So I think with the program 1 and program 2 for the listening, I think we ended up doing it for around sort of 12 months to begin with. So there's just a bit of information for you there that I thought might be useful. We'll come to the cost of the program just a minute, because we actually have a screen to share for that. So we've got another one. Does the progress tracking system you mentioned serve as a control for parents only or as an incentive for the child? So the tracking progress, so the reporting, is purely for your information as a parent or a caregiver. So it really helps you to establish, how your child is progressing, and to really see where their strengths are and perhaps where their challenges are, and it really just helps you map out and see how far they are through the process, the program. Okay.
Is it recorded or live sessions or mixed? So the medium through which it's delivered is actually it's online, or it's on a program that's either loaded onto a computer or onto an iPad or a tablet of some sort. So it's not.
I think that you mean it's not a live. It's not a live program as such, but it's interactive. So it will record your session with your child, and it will react accordingly. So, for example, if you do one session on a Monday, so you've done a 30-minute session, by the Tuesday that data will have gone back, and then you will find that the program has been adjusted accordingly based on the progress that the child has made the day before. So it's not live, but the algorithms are interactive. So every day that program and their session has been reviewed, and then the next day it will be different.
Okay. All right. Great. These are great questions, everyone. So please keep them coming. Are headphones essential, or will the program work without them?
Headphones are really, really essential, and you'll find out why when you have an assessment or when you actually see the demonstration of the program, because you'll hear some of the sounds from the listening program if you do the listening program, and they are because I used to have a splitter. So Noah used to have these specialist headphones that they recommend that are noise cancelling, but these particular ones that Fast ForWord do recommend because of the frequencies. So there's some really, really high frequencies. Don't hurt their ears at all, but and it really, really, it's very, very smart the way that the system works, but it really helps them to and encourages kids to really listen and really kind of tune into that really kind of, you know, that higher pitch or the lower pitch, or and sometimes I had a pair of just pods on listening, so I was, you know, just plugged in just so that I could hear what was happening, and I couldn't hear. I couldn't. He was doing it, but I couldn't. So it really does need. Yeah. I mean, you really do need to listen.
Wow.
So yeah, it's. I would say it's essential to have the correct headphones for sure.
And as part of our startup package, we have that. We've brought the headphones in, the ones that are recommended for the program.
Yeah. So no problem to obtain those from us. Any other questions at the moment? If not, we'll share the pricing for you. Okay, so subscription. Oh, where did they go? They're coming back now.
Sorry. Technology.
Wonders of technology.
All right.
Here we go.
So here are the fees.
So one-time registration fee of 220 reals. So we've tried to keep the cost as low on this as possible. So that includes a bag to put your headphones in. So specialist headphones that are recommended by Fast ForWord, and an iPad holder as well, a Fast ForWord iPad holder, which obviously is quite helpful. And then we have a monthly membership fee of 799 reals per month, and then a 6-month membership fee, which includes a 5% discount of 4,500 reals a month. For the 6-month period. For the month. Sorry, for the 6-month period.
So if you pay for the 6 months in advance at one time, there's a savings there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yes. So has anybody got any questions about that? I'll stop sharing our screen. We'll get back to the questions.
Okay. Okay, good. No, we're caught up.
Yeah, we are caught up with all of our questions. So yeah, if we've missed anything, or please don't, please do ask any questions that you have. Don't be afraid to write in the chat. We're very happy to answer anything that you need to ask. Let us know. Everybody good? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Right. Excellent. So,
quick question.
Yes, of course.
So the next step would be to go to the store for the assessment.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So that's right, Karina. So if we haven't got any more questions yet, we'll run through that with you now, what the next step is. So if you are interested in signing your child up for a free assessment, so the assessment doesn't cost anything at all. So we've introduced Matt to you, who's our consultant. So he will be fielding all of your inquiries and your calls and your bookings. So if you're interested in the assessment, please let us know, get in touch with us. Send us an email, give us a call, and Matt will be very happy to book you in. As Rana said before, it's super, fast forward,
FastForWordQatar.com.
or give us a call at store, or if you know Rana or I, just drop us a message and we'll be very happy. Yeah, exactly. Or drop us a message on Facebook, Instagram, however you want to contact us. We'll pick up the message. And then Matt will be very happy to book you in for an assessment. As I say, it's super informal. Nothing to stress about for the child or for the parent. You're very welcome in the store. For those of you who've been to the store, it's very, very relaxed. We're in the Royal Plaza in Al Sadd. There's plenty of parking. Please do let us know before you come. Just because of COVID at the moment, we're just trying to be as cautious as possible, and we are sticking to the guidelines put in place. So we are literally having just one child in the store at any one time. So, and we want to get cleaned up before the next child comes in. So we want to make it super safe for our team and for you guys as well. So just give us a call, please book it in. The assessment probably takes about 30 minutes. You won't be there for long. And then from there immediately, the Fast Forward program will be able to advise as to whether or not the child's ready, and whether or not they should start with the listening program or the reading program. And then from there, there's no obligation at all. You can start or choose not to start the program, and then Matt can issue with our kind of starter pack with a quick start guide. And if your child's not quite ready, it's no problem at all. Come back again. I've had to do it myself with Noah. And to be honest with you, it's better. It's better that they are ready for the program rather than start it when they're not quite ready. Yeah. It's an amazing program. It made a huge difference to Noah. And I'm very, very pleased that we didn't start it until he was ready. So I was very pleased that the system and the Fast Forward system really kind of halted us for a while. So I would say if your child's not quite ready, no problem. Just come back again in a couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months time. They can make great strides, these kids, really, really quickly. So just keep phoning, keep coming in. As I say, the assessment is free. We're happy to have you in the store. And we can just keep going, and eventually they will get to a point where they're ready for the program. So sure. It's all good. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Have I missed anything? Are there any other questions that you have? If you've got any other questions about enrollment or assessments or signing up? I just also wanted to let you know as well about the support that we will provide afterwards. So we don't just sign you up and leave you to get on with it. We're very kind of happy to have Matt on board with us. He's a great guy, and he's super friendly, and he'll be as I say, he's very knowledgeable about Fast Forward as a product. So he'll be super happy to answer any questions that you have. There's loads of FAQs on our website. But if you have got technical issues, which doesn't happen very often, but if you have or you've got a question, then he will be very happy to answer it. And if he cannot answer it, we will find somebody that can answer it super quickly for you. To begin with, we'll be in touch every week just to make sure that everything's going well. Takes a little bit of getting used to in terms of routine. Make sure that you do it when child's not hungry or tired. That's my advice. Yeah. So fit it into the day at a good time of the day. Matt will be in touch just to check in on you, just to make sure that everything's fine. If you need any additional support, if you need any advice, there's a lot of forums for parents for Fast Forward as well. So, providing a lot of support through the program. And then with the reporting, Matt will take a look at the reporting for, each child, and perhaps point out some areas of achievement, and also some more challenging areas that they may need a bit more support with. And we aim to provide as much of the support as possible. And we'll also be sending a newsletter every week as well, just to provide you with any updates from Fast Forward, any hints and tips that they've got to, to keep you and your child motivated and using the program. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. All right,
guys. So any other questions at this time? Anything else that we need to cover before we go? All good?
Well, we can just unmute ourselves and have a quick chat if anybody wants.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Darcy. Thanks for coming.
Hi, sorry for all the questions.
No, they're great. That's what it's for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Divya, thank you so much. Noura, thank you, my dear, for coming. It was great to see you guys as best as we can.
Exactly.
I'm missing everybody.
And if there's anything that you think of after, then please let us know. We'll be super happy to answer any of your questions. You know, it's a brand new program here. It's not available anywhere else in the Middle East actually at the moment. So we're super happy to introduce this to you. We think it's of real benefit. We don't bring anything that, you know, we really don't, you know, we haven't tried and tested ourselves. And as Rana said, this is being recorded, so we'll post it as well, so that if any of you guys missed the start or would like to review it again, then you're very welcome to at any time. Okay.
All right, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Have a great evening.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. All right.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you too. That's nice.